So early voting is in full swing as New York City is set to elect its next mayor, and new data shows a record number of people, more than 200,000, casting their ballots so far.
Democrat Zohran Mamdani still seen as the front runner despite lukewarm support from some in his own party. We have CNN chief data analyst Harry Enten with us now. All right, Harry, put the turnout into context for us historically.
Yeah, I'll note a historic little anecdote, which was my mother voted early. If my mother's voting early, you can vote early too here in New York City. But let's take a look here at the numbers, what we're looking at so far. You know, in 2025, we're looking at, look at this, already north of 220,000. The entire 2021 campaign only had 170,000 people turn out early, and we're only 3 days into this thing. I think we might be looking at the highest turnout in a New York City mayoral election since at least 2001, which of course was a close affair between Mark Green, the Democrat, and the Republican Mike Bloomberg. And you might have to go all the way back to 1993, when of course David Dinkins, the incumbent mayor, was defeated by Rudy Giuliani, the Republican.
Harry, who do you imagine is benefiting from this high early turnout?
Oh, Boris, that is the question, isn't it? And if I was a magical person, I could tell you for sure which candidate it was.
Person.
I am a magical person, but not in that way. I'm a magical person in the way that I'm able to look at the camera, and a magical person insofar as my personality is absolutely fantastic. But actually telling you who it's necessarily benefiting, I'm not quite sure I can do that for you. I think there's good signs for both the candidates. Why don't we start off with a good sign for Mamdani? All right, New York City general election early voter turnout. The top increase in the boroughs versus 2021 is Brooklyn. That is where we expect and where the polling really does suggest that Mamdani is going to do quite well. He did quite well during the primary there. That is also obviously where there are a lot of folks who might agree with Mamdani's further left politics than Andrew Cuomo might necessarily have. So Brooklyn being high in the turnout, that's good for Zohran Mamdani. Now, if you're looking for a good sign for Andrew Cuomo, why don't you look at the turnout by age group? All right, this is 2025 New York City, and the largest early voting age group. In the primary, it was younger voters, those aged 30 to 34. That was the top group in terms of turnout in the early vote. Now look at this side of the screen. Look at what we have here in the general election so far. It's actually early voters who are making up the larger share of the early vote so far. 65 to 69 is the largest group. That, of course, is a group that Andrew Cuomo is expected to do very well amongst. He's expected to do poor among younger voters. So the fact that older voters are turning out to vote so far, that is a good sign for Andrew Cuomo. I won't tell you, though, which age bracket my mother belongs to, because I'm very young. She could be very young, too.
Yeah, very young, magically young even, right? So, see what I did there? Okay, Mamdani, though, he's still the favorite?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you can see it in the prediction markets right here at this particular point. What do we see? The top chances to win New York City mayor, according to the Kalshi prediction market odds. Look, Mamdani has an 86% chance. Andrew Cuomo comes in at 14%. I will say Cuomo's up a little bit from where he was yesterday, but the bottom line at this particular point is Zohran Mamdani is driving the subway car. He's driving the bus. He's not driving the car because, of course, most people in New York City actually commute via mass transit or by walking. They don't drive their cars. So at this particular point, Mamdani is the favorite. Andrew Cuomo's got a shot, perhaps a little bit up from where he was just a few days ago. But at this point, Zohran Mamdani is in the driver's seat, guys.
A magical and humble, we should add.
So humble.
Yeah.
I know.
Enten.
I know.
From the Magic Ball Force.
I just want to thank you all for this beautiful segment. It's going to stay with me for a long time, as well as our viewers.
Harry, thank you.